Okay, today you're in the kitchen from my perspective. Today we're going to be working on some turkey soup. Got the leftovers from Thanksgiving here, and I've taken the carcass and I put it in a big stock pot here. I've got an onion quartered up, a stick of celery in there, some salt, pepper, and a little Italian seasoning to flavor. Got the bones cooking down here. This has been cooking for about 3 hours. Now what I like to do is use a little chicken broth for stock. I add a little extra water, just make sure your bones are all covered. You don't have to use the broth, but it gives it a nice little extra flavor. And you want to bring it to a boil and then bring it down to a low heat after it starts boiling and just let it cook away. The longer the better. I've cooked this one for about 3 hours, but you can go ahead and cook that all day. The more you cook it, the more it will flavor through. I got a little bay leaf in there also. What I'm trying to do here with some of these videos is just keep them short and sweet. Not a lot of banter and foolishness, just get right down to the point. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to strain it into another smaller pot. That way you've got all your delicious juices going in there, and you're not going to get all the bones and nastiness. Now what you can do is go ahead and pick some of that good meat off of there if you want. There's going to be a lot left over in that pot. And we're just going to go ahead and set that aside. And then what you've got there is going to be about the most delicious broth you can possibly come up with. And over here I've got all my veggies that are going to go in. Got some celery, some carrots, potatoes, some onions, a little bit of garlic for flavor, also a bay leaf. We're going to go ahead and throw that right in there while it cooks. For seasonings, we've got some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, celery salt, garlic salt, and a little black peppercorns. I also like to do some corn, fresh if you have it. It's not that season. I've got plenty of leftover turkey here, so we're going to use that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take all these vegetables, throw them right in there. Then we're going to get this back on the pot again, on the oven, and get that cooking. I'll cook it again for another couple of hours. The longer the better. The more you cook it, the more it will flavor right through. These vegetables, you can cut them up to any size you like, really. I like mine kind of small and minced right up. Go ahead and throw that garlic in there. Add all your seasonings to taste. You can go ahead and keep adding them as you go. Take a little tug every now and again and see if you like the flavor. And if you think it needs a little more, just add whatever you like. Get all that goodness in there. And we'll go ahead and throw some corn in there as well. I like corn, so we're going to throw a bunch of that in there. I'm going to get this on the stove, and I'm actually going to take that turkey and pull it apart by hand, get it into nice little bits, and throw it in there as this is cooking. And we're just going to leave that on there for a couple hours. And you want to, once you bring it up to a nice good temperature, you want to bring it down to low. You don't want it boiling away. And just don't forget to take your bay leaf out when you're done. And we'll check back on that in a couple hours and see how we're making out. In the meantime, you're in the kitchen cooking from my perspective.